the guy that we think that can beat Brock Lesnar might not be the guy. The guy that would beat him would probably be somebody we would never even dream of.
It might not be the guy. It might be the girl, Ronda Rousey.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Welcome to the Wrestling Time Machine. Hello, everybody. I'm Mac Davis, your host, along with wrestling superstar and WWE Hall of Famer, Teddy Long. Hey, Teddy.
Hey, holler.
Holla. And along with him is legendary pro wrestling journalist, Mr. Bill Apter. Hey, Bill.
Thank you so much. And I got a special friend with me here today.
Boy, I tell you what, it was a hell of a way to start a day to get the news about Jerry Lawler. As of the time of this recording, Jerry, we understand, suffered a stroke. Bill, what do you know about what all is taking place? And much more than that?
Well, I got a call from one of my inside people at about 8:30 this morning, telling me that he was found in the outside of his home. Not conscious, and he was rushed to the hospital. The reports that were initially given was that he had had a stroke. Mm-hmm. Now I have read some other reports saying it may have just been a blood clot on the brain. It's terrible because I just spoke to him day and a half, 2 days ago. He and I always loved and we still do, following the Universal monsters. We're big horror movie fans of the Frankenstein and Wolfman and all. And Jerry loves that stuff. And he wanted to make sure I was following Universal monsters on Instagram. And I've been trying to follow this story all day. I've made calls to his son, Kevin, who I understand is en route to Florida now to see him at the hospital, along with some other former family members. And Teddy and I just saw him last Monday backstage at the WrestleMania 30 celebration.
Yeah, I was the first I saw it this morning, and then I didn't hear too much about it. So, here I go again. Where is this fake news or is this real news?
Yeah.
So I just waited, before I commented on it. But yeah, man, I've been a good friend of Jerry's for a long time. In fact, I was in Montreal there, the night that he suffered the heart attack there.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I remember watching that live on TV.
Me too.
Yeah. So, but Jerry's, just hell of a guy, one of the nicest guys you could ever meet.
Oh, yeah.
So, I like I said, we're just going by different reports. We don't really know what's going on, but hopefully, God's got him in his hands, and he's going to be all right.
What a legend. I mean, and the whole city of Memphis, I understand, is just like stunned that this has happened, even though he was living at his Florida home in Memphis. He's the mayor, the governor, not official. He's Mr. Memphis, Tennessee. He's got such a legacy down there.
There's only two guys that are over in Memphis, and that's Elvis and Jerry Lawler.
That's
very
right.
True.
That's right.
Very true.
Yeah, right.
Yep. Let's talk about somebody else too, guys. Since the last program, we lost Lanny Poffo.
Oh.
Bill, any memories of Lanny?
I don't know. I didn't know him very well. I've seen him on a couple of occasions, and I think I spoke to him one time on one of these meet and greets. But, it's just last night I was looking at Reels, and the Reel channel, they have a lot of, backstage stuff about our wrestling business.
Right.
They showed the real autopsy of what really happened to Eddie Guerrero, what really killed him. They went all into the Chris Benoit thing. They showed how he really died. And last night they had Randy Savage on there, and they were showing about, how, what all stuff he had been putting in his body before he died. Yeah. And then I look up and here's Lenny talking about him, and I'm like, golly, now he's gone. So it's just, that was just kind of, last night it was kind of touching because I've known Randy before he was ever the Macho Man, brother. That's how long I've known Randy Savage, okay? Me and him was back in the NWA. I was running with Randy Savage and Dick Slater before I ever even got into business. So That's how long I've known Randy Savage.
It gets to the point where it gets to the point where you're afraid to even read the news, because it just seems like we've had bad news after bad news lately about a lot of friends. And it is hard to see that, but I guess it's a part of getting older, but doesn't make it any easier having to deal with it.
I talked to Lanny. Was the happiest point of his life. He had met a girl from Ecuador, and I was in touch with him on Facebook Messenger a lot. And he said he got married down there to this Ecuadorian lovely lady. And he said he's never been happier. He's never found such peace in his entire life. And he wasn't one of these guys that abused drugs and stuff like that. He was saying that he was in the best shape of his life too. And he was always, if a fan would come over at one of the conventions, like Teddy mentioned, and ask him to recite a poem about something, he could, like Oscar on Men of a Mission, he could just snap and make a poem up like initially. But he was such a great human being. There was a time when there was an issue with the magazines I worked for, which means me, and not the rest of the staff, because they didn't know the rest of the staff. And Lanny was one of the people who was able to smooth that out, because I think Teddy will attest to this, that Randy had a very short temper. If something bothered him, he'd let you know right away. And so Lanny had straightened that out, and I miss him. He was just a great guy to talk to. He's a regular guy.
Yeah, Randy, like I said, man, what a great guy.
Yeah. All right, guys, this is the Wrestling Time Machine here on Sportskeeda, which, by the way, you can find us on WrestleBinge on YouTube and also anywhere you find your favorite podcast. Make sure you download it. But, guys, today we're going back to March 18th, 2002. And that was the day we were introduced to the next big thing, Brock Lesnar. Do you remember that night? Do you remember the impact?
Please don't try and imitate him. You're really doing great. You're doing great. Don't do nothing to kill your career,
please. So tell me, guys, do you remember the night that he debuted on Raw?
Well,
Teddy, you should.
That was the night that that was our first that started in the WWE, and it was the WWF at that time, and I was refereeing. And so that night was the first time I'd ever seen Brock Lesnar and to be in the ring with him. And believe me, I had been in the WWF a good little while, and I'd seen some dominant people, King Kong Bundy, Big John Studd, a lot of big dominant guys. But Brock Lesnar was something that you just was unbelievable, man. So this guy here he caught my attention.
Could you feel the power when you were in the ring? There are certain people when you get in the ring that you can tell this guy's a hoss, and he can just lift people up like a feather and throw them around. Could you feel that in the ring, Teddy?
Not only do you feel it, you see it.
Oof. Yeah. I imagine even if you're working with a guy, you got to be a little bit nervous about working Brock Lesnar, and he's just a beast. Yeah. Bill, do you remember the night that he debuted?
I remember before he debuted in WWE.
Oh, really?
I remember him in Ohio Valley Wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
He was teaming with Shelton Benjamin way back when. And I had photographed some matches back in there. And Brock was one of these guys in the dressing room where a lot of the guys in the dressing room before their matches are they're easygoing and all this. I was almost hesitant to talk to him backstage. I really was, because he was the picture of danger. That's the best I could say, which would have been a great magazine headline.
But it's like that with a lot of guys like that. Brock, in reality, he's a sweetheart of a guy.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think he may have had something to do with the Jimmy Johns. I'm not sure. But he would always talk to me about the Jimmy Johns, about getting a sandwich there, eating there. But and Kane, he was the same identical way. People scared to death of him. And Mark Henry, and once you talk to them, they're they're teddy bears. But I mean, they ain't nothing to mess with now. I'm just saying.
Brock Lesnar, if he had to shoot on somebody, it would always be Brock Lesnar in the shooter's seat, so to say. And he's one of the most dangerous people.
Legitimately.
legitimate people, and to work against him in a wrestling match. And I don't know if anybody's ever tried to double cross him during a wrestling match, but you won't get away with it. Right, Teddy?
Let's talk a little bit about Brock Lesnar. I want to kind of mention some of the things he did just in his first year in the WWE. He was the 2002 King of the Ring winner. He submitted Hulk Hogan in a 2002 SmackDown match and pinned The Rock to win the WWE Championship at SummerSlam 2002. Also in his rookie year, he beat The Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell match and won the 2003 Royal Rumble, defeating Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 19. Incredible career for Brock Lesnar. Pure dominance in a rookie year. Was there ever anybody, or has there been anybody since, that's had a rookie year like Brock Lesnar?
Probably not, but one of the things about Brock Lesnar, if we're doing like a scouting report on him, is I do notice that as the match goes longer, if the opponent starts to get an edge on him, he starts to run down pretty quickly. It looks, I've seen him a lot of times in the ring being, beaten pretty badly before he just happens to make that comeback. And it really surprised me at times that some guys almost beat him if they just kept their game up. Teddy, what do you think?
Well, like you're saying, you certainly got to keep your game up. That's no doubt about that. You know what I mean? But, everybody's beatable. You just have to be in the right place at the right time, and it may happen for you. So,
now, Brock, what Teddy is saying basically is Brock is actually the character that he came out on this past week's Monday Night Raw, where he just was this nice, like, country music gentleman, and, well, how are you fans doing? How are you doing? And that's what he's like backstage, except for the times he scared the hell out of me at Ohio Valley Wrestling. But but he's just such a dangerous person. Now to come back to WWE, it seems that whenever they need a devastating bad guy, it's him. And what he did at the Royal Rumble when he was eliminated by Bobby Lashley and then went totally nuts. I heard that nobody was expecting him to go that crazy. A little bit crazy, yes, but throwing the steps and.
Hey, we're lucky that he didn't quit like he did years back when we were back in the time machine. He quit on WWE not long after his rookie year. Bill, do you remember what that was over? Was it him just wanting to experience new opportunities, or was it?
Remember that was what that was over,
But he ended up coming back, and of course, the one guy he got paired up with is the guy I want to talk about too, because without this guy, I'm not sure we have Brock Lesnar, the beast that we have today, and that's Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
Bill, your thoughts? I mean, would Brock be the monster that he is without Paul?
I think that answer is yes, but he wouldn't be out there in the forefront as the monster, because Paul Heyman, even though Brock can speak for himself, Paul Heyman has that extra bit of that marketing and know-how to take somebody's career to the next level.
Teddy, what do you think about the pairing with Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar?
Well, I think that's a smart thing to do. Like Bill was saying, Paul Heyman is a great mouthpiece, but it's not so much as that Brock needs the mouthpiece. Brock can basically talk himself. What Brock needs is the insight, the knowledge, the to know when to do this, to know when to do that. Paul Heyman has been around this business for a long, long time. And Paul Heyman certainly is a real smart guy. He's no dummy. And he understands the ins and outs. So he's the guy that can guide Brock. I mean, basically, I think Brock understands that Paul Heyman's probably the only guy that can keep him under control. You know what I mean? Because he understands what Paul has done for him behind the scenes and done for him, to advance his career. He understands that, and he certainly appreciates that. And like I said, to have Heyman working with you, couldn't be a better manager.
Now, Teddy, you've been a manager. When I see Paul Heyman, when he was growing up and he was a photographer for the magazines I worked for and some of the other magazines, He was mentored by the Grand Wizard Fred Blassie and Captain Lou Albano, three incredible managers. And many times, and I've told Paul this, I've emailed him and told him this, I said, it's incredible. When you were with Brock Lesnar, I kind of saw the Grand Wizard in you. I kind of saw Fred Blassie in you. I kind of saw Lou Albano. And he told me those people are part of him and they just come out. And I think that really enhanced his presentation of Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. Well, he does his own thing, you know what I mean? And that's good. He has his own signature saying, you know what I mean? That's Paul. Nobody does that but him, and that's great.
Yeah, you know, Paul was one of those people, just like Teddy. I grew up watching Southern wrestling, so I got to see people like Teddy, and I got people to see people, you know, like him, who, to me, Paul was always that little squirrely guy that was running around. You never could trust him, but he built a name for himself in this business, working from the bottom and going all the way to where he is now.
And the Dangerous Alliance.
And yes, I mean, just an incredible career for Paul himself. But to have Paul booked up with Brock Lesnar and the mouthpiece for Brock Lesnar, I think was needed in the very beginning. But now Brock seems to have found his own voice. And it seems to me that the character Brock Lesnar has actually come out much more than we've ever noticed just in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, Bill.
No, I was going to say, yes, but I enjoyed the Brock Lesnar that was with Paul Heyman.
You were the beast.
I find him when he used to come out with Paul in the trunks and the gloves and everything. I was like, if I'm a wrestling fan, I'm afraid of this guy. But now there's nice guys coming out in the overalls and the cowboy hat and the whole bit. And I want to, nice guy. It's fun. Yes, he can kill people if he wants to, or cripple them or whatever. But I don't get that same danger feeling that I did when I saw him come out with Paul.
Well, I want to watch this. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, you want to see it.
I know the wrestling business. You understand? I just want to watch and see where this goes.
On the other hand, his feud now with Bobby Lashley over being thrown over the top rope at the Royal Rumble. Yep. Lashley's got that impressive body, but yet every time he comes to the ring, pretty much so when he's not wrestling, is, with a suit or, looking like a college athlete, which I think is, very good to look like that as a champion. But I think to be more intimidating looking, like this past week's Raw when he came out to go face to face with Brock Lesnar, I would have liked to have seen him in his wrestling gear instead.
Teddy, you have a preference of the Brock you like? You like the Beast, or do you prefer more of the common kind of guy?
Well, I like the Beast. You know
Beast,
what I mean?
yep.
I really like the Beast, but you can also be the Beast and the common guy. You know what I mean? What did Superman do? He was a mild-mannered reporter.
My thought is that metropolitan newspaper.
Yeah.
My thought is that we might be seeing Brock playing this role because on his way out, he's going to leave out the ultimate beast that he has always been. So I think we're seeing a glimpse of Brock right now that we should enjoy, because it's going to probably be the last time that we see this aspect of him, because when he comes back as the beast, that's how I see him finally leaving the WWE, which leads me to this question. Who on the WWE roster has the cojones to actually beat Brock Lesnar?
Oh, I got it. That would be Gunther, the man that lasted throughout the Royal Rumble. I have become a big advocate of his because he lasted so long in the Royal Rumble. I knew him back in England and Germany. I had seen him at several of the shows back there where I was covering wrestling in that area. And he is svelte. He is a monster. He can wrestle. He can brawl. He's got it all. I think Gunther against Brock Lesnar would be a money match.
Teddy?
I agree.
Is there anybody else that we're missing that could step up to Brock Lesnar? I mean, it's a very limited field of people that actually, that will sell a pay-per-view making you believe that, that Brock could be beaten. And you got to figure Brock is the one who took out Undertaker in the 21-1 all those years ago. And we didn't expect that. So his caliber of talent has got to be a high caliber of talent that actually beats him.
Well, that's what I just said in the beginning. Everybody can be beat.
Yep.
So we never know. We may not never know the guy that we think that can beat Brock Lesnar might not be the guy. The guy that would beat him would probably be somebody we would never even dream of.
It might not be the guy. It might be the girl, Ronda Rousey.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Might as well get Doink the Clown in there for that.
Oh, you might as well just let him wrestle the Invisible Man.
That would be
Let's talk about that match, though, with Brock Lesnar defeating The Undertaker. It had to be one of the biggest moments of his career professionally to actually pin The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Bill, what was your thought? You watched it as it went down. What was your initial thought right as it went down? What was your gut saying?
The same thing as that fan that you see all the time. That was my thought. I did not see it coming at all. I thought that perhaps it would end some way with Brock Lesnar losing, because this is the Under-freaking-Taker here. Nobody beats him, right?
Right.
Nobody at all. So I think it was one of the best kept secrets in the wrestling business. I talked to a lot of the guys afterwards, and nobody really knew what was going to take place there.
Nope.
So, and I love to be surprised in the wrestling business, because so much of it's too predictable right now. And when somebody will call me about a title change, I don't want to hear it.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Let me watch it.
Teddy, how about you?
Well, I thought the same thing. I mean, golly, when I saw that happen, there goes Brock. He certainly went up the ladder then. That really sent his stock sky high. So to be able to defeat a guy like The Undertaker, brother, there's no better moment or no better feeling. So I can just imagine, how Brock felt.
Nobody's asked you. What are you?
Oh boy, I tell you what, that's a number one no right there. He must have that phone off.
My phone was off.
Must be an emergency call coming through.
No.
No, when it's off, nothing come through.
Nothing. Matt,
all right.
what about you?
I thought that the match. Now, as a fan, as a fan, I'm one of the ones in the audience, my eyes, my mouth wide open, wondering what had just happened here. I honestly believed at the time that something went wrong, because the pause of the fans in the audience caused me to go, wait a minute, what happened? Something's not right, because it's the first time that I think I've ever heard an audience go silent at the end of a match, complete silence. And it was kind of an odd feeling for me to actually see that. The question is, though, was that the right call, Bill? Was that the call for Brock to go over, or should Undertaker have left?
You talking about the call I just got that I was trying not to take?
Yeah.
Okay, no, was it the right call? Yes, because it was a surprise. You can almost, if you're a wrestling fan for so many years, you can almost telegraph what has happened.
Got you.
So,
Lost Bill.
It was great. It was a total shock.
All right, so what's next for Brock Lesnar? Where do you feel we're going to go for WrestleMania, Bill?
Well, Bobby Lashley. I know they're going to compete at the Elimination Chamber.
Correct.
But I think it's going to carry over to WrestleMania, or it might be my guy Gunther.
Gunther, I think, would sell tickets, but the question is, do you need to sell any more tickets? I think they're sold out, aren't they?
That don't mean nothing.
No,
That's right. Thank you, Teddy.
That don't mean nothing. They got extra chairs they'll put out, my man.
Now, they'll put more and more out there.
That's right.
Get the ring crew. No, I think if we're going down the roster of WWE in terms of people against Brock Lesnar, they could do an Undertaker comeback for make it an easy type of match where Undertaker doesn't have to wrestle that much, but I don't think he'd want that. But then again, if the Undertaker comes out as that biker persona, that's a different style of Undertaker. That's a puncher and kicker. So do we want to see part 2 where the Undertaker tries to get revenge on that? Teddy, what do you think?
Well, I think Taker wants to enjoy the rest of his life. and
Yeah.
enjoy his kids and his family. You know what I mean? I heard him speak about that. He's had, he's enjoyed every moment of his career, and to be able to be with his kids now is a big deal with him, because I heard him say, with his older kids, by him being on the road a lot, he wasn't able to put in much time with them. And now he has the time to put in with his, kids that are younger now. So I think he wants to just spend, enjoy the rest of his life.
Hey, let's put Otis in against Brock Lesnar.
Who? We've seen a lot of Otis flying around the ring, I'm afraid.
No, we won't see Otis anymore.
Well, let me throw out a tag team idea at you. What about Brock Lesnar and Gunther as a tag team? Working together.
Well,
would they not dominate?
But here's what we're saying. Why are we talking about this when we don't even know whether Brock Lesnar is going to be employed in WWE? We don't know what he's going to even be here.
That's true, because his contract comes at an end basically at WrestleMania, correct?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Let's not assume and make all these assumptions until we really know what's going on. We get people riled up like, oh, God, that's going to happen. And the guy may not even resign. You know what I mean? So let's see where we're going.
Why don't we take one of the younger people from NXT, somebody like Braun Breaker, the son of Rick Steiner, and put him against someone like elevate him to a status where it would be palatable for him to cause the exit of Brock Lesnar. Sure. I could see that.
I'd like that. I mean, that Steiner's kid has got a great looking body. That kid looks really good, and he's a good worker. I've seen him work in the ring, so that's not a bad idea.
He certainly is.
Guys, that's all the time we got for this week. Anything coming up, Bill, that we need to talk about for you?
No, just follow me here on Sportskeeda. I'm still trying to make my plans to get out to WrestleMania. My book is Wrestling Fixed.
I didn't know it was broken.
It's still available on Amazon or anywhere fine books or bad books are sold. And I think I showed you this last week, my Barry Windham little wrestle buddy here. Yes. So you can donate and help that fund. And again, with much love, we are hoping for the King to come out of this really well.
Yeah.
Teddy, how about you? What you got coming up?
I ain't got nothing coming up but me and my.
I got a bingo game taking place down the road. That's all.
Hey, let me tell you something, man. I mean, I don't know about the rest of these guys, but I'm enjoying the rest of my life, man. I love being at home and just going to the gym. I got me and my dog here. If you listen good, he's growling in the background now. You hear something. But anyway, I'll have some stuff coming up, I think, in the end of February, and we'll start in March, and then I'll give you some dates on it. But right now, man, I'm just enjoying being at home.
Well, wait a minute. You know, this is the Sportskeeda award time of the year. Pretty soon, all you fans are going to be able to vote for Wrestler of the Year, Tag Team of the Year, Comeback of it, just so many categories. Follow Sportskeeda for more information. Follow them on Twitter. Follow them on Facebook. They're everywhere. Follow them at home. Follow them while you're walking. Sportskeeda, that's the brand. Okay.
Also, I want to remind everybody that Teddy and I will be taking a little trip to St. Louis, Missouri for the SICW Fan Fest and Hall of Fame. That'll be on May 13th, it's Saturday, again in St. Louis, Missouri. Some of the names on that Fan Fest include, just want to name a few of them here, Gerald Briscoe, JBL, Jimmy Hart, Tugboat, The $1 Million Man, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, Enzo Earl Hebner, J.J. Dillon, Cowboy Bob Orton, Bushwhacker Luke. There's a bunch of them. Make sure you stop by SICW and get your tickets today.
I have one more question to ask.
Absolutely.
This past Monday Night Raw, JBL fired Baron Corbin. Now, we've seen Baron Corbin in so many different roles. Where is this going? What's going to happen to the Baron?
I got a feeling, I don't know, but he's going to be hurting a lot pretty soon.
Okay. All right.
Well,
That's about the only kind of idea I can give you.
We'll just wait and see what happens.
I like that. That's too
Well,
logical.
Bill, what do you think is going to happen with him?
Baron Corbin?
Yeah.
I think he's going to. I don't know. See, I'm glad. I don't know.
After that promo, I mean, are you left not going, I'm not sure he even works there anymore?
Well, maybe he'll be transferred to another brand.
That could be.
Maybe
NXT?
he'll go to SmackDown.
OVW.
Maybe Teddy Long will step in where JBL.
Teddy's like, no.
Too much
Thank you,
more-
brother. If you couldn't get over with JBL, I sure don't want to be bothered with you. Okay?
Message to Baron Corbin directly. Tweet that out.
Yeah.
All right,
JBL,
guys.
man, he was with one of the greatest guys in the business. Best talker in the world. All you got to do is stand back and listen. Just listen. That's all you got to do. And JBL will certainly show you how to get over.
All right.
Guys, that's it. That's all the time we have for this week. I am Mac Davis. That is pro wrestling journalist Bill Apter. And that is WWE Hall of Famer Holla Holla Teddy Long. And this has been the Wrestling Time Machine.
Holler!
See you at the matches.